All right, here we are talking about ethics, and the purpose for this conversation is to say how ethics is affected by the 6 environments. So first of all, let's talk about the competitive environment. One of the reasons why ethics is affected by the competitive environment is because it's so intense. If there wasn't a lot of companies so intensely competing against each other, they wouldn't be tempted to behave in an unethical way. The political, legal, regulatory environment, that also affects ethics because there are laws and rules and regulations about how some companies can do things. For example, Bill C-45 says that provisions of the criminal code can apply to crimes carried out beyond Canada's borders. Also, other rules and regulations talking about how Canadian companies are not only not allowed to bribe government officials in Canada, but they're also not allowed to bribe government officials in other countries. So there'd be consequences for that. Social cultural environment. A mix of cultures in most large cities around the world results in people thinking differently about things. For example, one culture may think it's perfectly acceptable to bribe policemen or government officials, another culture have zero tolerance for that. So we have a mix of these cultures working for one large multinational corporation. You end up with people thinking differently about ethical behavior, and it can create some circumstances of conflict. Technological environment facilitates exposure of unethical behavior because we have YouTube. Everybody's got a cell phone which has a little camera in it, so they can take little digital video of people doing bad stuff. And exposure to this causes people who do behave unethically to be caught. So the technological environment allows people in more places to know what some of this unethical behavior is. The economic environment affects unethical behavior because the pressure to make money creates this urgency among companies to do things that are unethically, which is again part of the competitive environment. We also have the geographic environment affecting and influencing unethical behavior because sometimes it creates circumstances that exacerbate a situation. For example, one student was talking about wind. So if a polluted situation in one local area is compounded by a large windstorm that carries the pollutants to a further distance, then that's an example of how the geographic environment influences ethics.